Okay, it's 5 o'clock, so I'm now calling the meeting to order at 5 o'clock p.m. on Wednesday, June 1st, 2022. We are meeting at the Cedar Creek Township Hall. We called this meeting, this special meeting, due to time-sensitive contracts and a very lengthy June 14th board meeting. This meeting will be posted on our website within the next several days. Rita, nice to have you back in Cedar Creek. Would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Members of the public, you will be given 2 opportunities to speak tonight. You should have a copy of the agenda. Are there?
Oh, are they on the chair right there?
Huh, maybe.
There's a whole lot of stuff on them chairs.
That's mine. Well, that would
I
be
put
that
copies
pile.
of the,
Oh, that's
right
yours?
here. Okay, I put copies of the agenda back there. I don't know what happened.
Here, you want to pass one?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, hey, you're quick.
There were supposed to be copies of the agenda back there.
Hey, we've done that before.
I don't know if you got 2 there or 1.
So you'll notice there are no minutes, so those go on our June 14th agenda. So you will have an opportunity to make public comments on agenda items, and later on, after board comments, there'll be another opportunity. So feel free to make your comments during those 2 time frames. Mr. Skinner. We need a roll call, please.
Peggy,
Here.
Bob,
Here.
Heather,
Here.
Linda,
Here.
Chuck, here.
All present, thank you. Because Lorraine has to leave a little early, she and I talked for a brief moment, I would ask for your indulgence if we could move up the discussion of the draft ORV golf cart ordinance, if we could move that, which is under unfinished business, if we could move that up before we do new business. Would anyone object to that?
I don't object.
No problem.
All right, with that, if we could have a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
All
with
in
the
favor?
change. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, agenda is approved, thank you. You'll note there's no treasurer's report, disbursement, and there will be no correspondence in this special meeting. With that, are there any public comments that anyone would like to make regarding the agenda tonight? Public comments regarding the agenda, going twice?
Quiet group.
3 times? No public comments regarding the agenda, thank you. All right, then we're going to move on to the back part of our packet, and you also have, Lorraine has provided a few other items for us as well. To our Township golf cart ordinance. Which is resolution to allow golf carts on township roads.
Here, we'll share.
Thanks.
Are you talking about the emails?
No, you handed everyone a golf cart ordinance, or the resolution.
Where did it go?
Yes.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, they're
You
kind
got it?
I was thinking
Okay.
You're right, it's too many
It's
fingers.
resolution number
There's a lot of shuffling here.
2022-1.
Okay.
So it is my understanding at this point that we are, as a board, our goal will be to look at both the golf cart resolution, which I keep wanting to call an ordinance, but a resolution, as well as the ORV ordinance. We are going to be examining the language on these, and in preparation to finalize the language, to recommend on June 14th that we are prepared to finalize it on June 14th. That is what I want to say. That on June 14th, our goal will be to say, both to our attorney and to Ken Halka, that we are ready to move forward. So, and then we have certain steps that we need to follow, and which we have laid out. And we have to notify all the townships within Muskegon County that we have our golf cart resolution and our that's hard to say, our ORV ordinance ready, and we are moving forward with this. We have to also have a public hearing. It has to appear in the newspaper as well. So there are certain things that we are required by law in order to have this finalized. So, so we have to look at this ordinance, agree as a board that we approve of this language, that we are okay with it. We have the roads, which you also have in your packet, the new roads. Lorraine and I spoke with Ken Halka today. We have whittled down the roads in agreement with Ken. So we have more roads now that we are available to travel down. But our golf cart ordinance, Lorraine worked with, she actually was able to talk with Jackie Miskovich from the DNR, as well as talk with the legal department of the DNR. So Lorraine, if you wouldn't mind, because I think we want to talk about the golf cart resolution first, and give us because this is really important,
Okay.
the legal opinion of the DNR.
I emailed a question about this sentence. A golf cart shall be operated at a speed not to exceed 15 miles per hour and shall not be operated on a highway or street with a speed limit of more than 30 miles per hour except across that highway or street. And my question was, I want your input on that sentence, because we're thinking of putting a period after a golf cart shall be operated at a speed not to exceed 15 miles per hour, period. That was my question to them, to speak on that.
Do other townships have it up to 15, or is it a little bit higher than that?
Well, the question is about the speed limit of the road it's operated on.
Correct, but I
Because-
thought that was like 45 or more on those kind of roads.
To
Not-
operate a
no?
golf cart?
Yeah.
No, most of them have.
They all have 15
Is it
miles per
15?
hour.
Okay,
Yep.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
So,
Okay.
the response from both of these people is at the top of my email that I'm passing out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I need one more hand.
Here. My secretary. All right.
So basically, they said that we should probably leave it the way it is without that period in the middle, omitting the language about shall not be operated on a street with a speed limit more than 30 hours per hour. That's what the DNR law says, exactly what that sentence reads in full.
My understanding is and shall not be operated on a highway or street with a speed limit of more than 30 miles an hour is from the state. Okay. And I know that we've been talking about Eggleston Township doesn't have that in theirs. But Eggleston's is dated in 2019 and it was voided in 2021 by MCRC's letter. So theirs is void.
I didn't know that until
Right.
I was told.
Eggleston's is not actually
Valid.
a legal or valid ordinance because it was not done,
Not in a proper manner
Right.
of public and so forth. They
Right.
didn't
Correct.
follow all of the steps
Procedures.
necessary,
Right.
correct,
Right.
procedures.
So MCRC voided Eggleston's and, well, everybody's, but Eggleston's in particular. So we can't mirror that. We have guidance from the state that says this. The downside of this is, and if anybody's trying to follow along with this, is golf carts pretty much can't operate on any streets in Cedar Creek because most of our streets are 45 or 55.
Right.
This is basically designed like Clear Lake. You could ride around Clear Lake. You could ride around a place like Stonegate or a housing development, something like that.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna be running up and down Holton Duck Lake Road or River Road or Ryerson in a golf cart. And if you read the opinion of Mr. Hearn from the DNR, unless you specifically say they can do it, they're illegal on the street, period. So that's what I
Right,
was.
you'd have to make an ordinance that would allow that, correct?
Right, but the state says we can't.
Right.
So, I mean, that's just the opinion of the DNR guy, but he mirrors what the state says, which you're gonna mix really slow-moving vehicles with really fast-moving
With
vehicles.
that, right.
And that's an issue. I think the reason my understanding why they let the ORVs is if something were to happen, an ORV is much more capable of getting out of the way off the road
Than a 15
than
mile
a
an
golf
hour.
cart.
Mhm.
You know, they have the tires, the suspension, they have to go in a ditch, be it what it is, but golf carts and ORVs are not the same.
Mhm.
So, and that's why we have to treat them separately. But I don't see how we can go anywhere but there. The state says can't be on the street over 30 miles an hour. So should we have our resolution? I think so. It allows for it in the future if something were to develop and that would be inclusive, a development of any kind or an area, then they'd be included. But right now, it sounds like we're doing something really cool, but we're really not doing a whole lot with that, I don't think, other than to say, we recognize golf carts, but they're not the same as ORVs, and this is what you can do with them, so.
And just for the record, and Bob, you know this, gravel roads are all 55 miles an hour
Oh.
because they're not marked.
Correct there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
That'd be ugly.
Yeah.
it's,
That could be
it's,
that could be a problem.
It is a
Gravel roads
problem.
and 55
it's-
miles an hour in a golf cart.
and I
yeah.
had this discussion with the road commission. It is essentially, you are to drive at a safe rate of speed. Whatever you determine to be that rate of speed, and whatever you feel is a safe rate of speed.
Not
And that means if you go around the curve and you don't make it, that's on you. So.
So everybody's gonna be on Wilson Beach. Or what's your little road?
Your road is probably safe, this road.
All right, well,
So,
with that being said,
yes. Our resolution here, our golf cart resolution.
does that does that resolution have to go to public hearing and all that stuff too?
No,
The resolution is
Doesn't,
not,
right?
it's a separate issue altogether.
Okay.
I think we can vote on the resolution tonight if we're comfortable doing it.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with it
I don't
myself.
see a problem. We didn't.
We have
There's
to
not
agree
been-
on the,
Oh,
There's
we
not
have
been a motion.
no,
So,
actually, we're not even in a position to discuss it. We're
just listening to Lorraine?
talking about language right now,
Yeah, okay.
so. Somebody has to make a motion. If you'd like to make a motion to place this resolution up for a vote tonight.
I would like to make a motion. I would like to make a resolution, we have a motion. I'd like to make a motion
I'll second that.
that we have a resolution, that we bring this resolution forward for a vote tonight as it pertains to the golf carts in Cedar Creek.
Do we have a second on that?
Peggy seconded.
Peggy did? You did second? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Is there any discussion on that? Additional discussion?
How soon does this go into effect after it's passed?
do you have that, the golf cart one?
Yeah, because.
Yeah, the golf cart, there are no roads involved in this.
Right.
I think it's immediate on a resolution.
That's what I thought.
I was just curious.
Although, I would like to say, I believe this begs, if the golf cart resolution is immediate, it would beg a map for the benefit of the people in the township so that they knew where golf carts would be legal, in my
They're gonna
humble
come to the
opinion.
township and probably ask anyway,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're gonna get 8 million calls on where can I legally drive my golf cart.
Does the road commission have some sort of a listing about roads and speed limits? What the speed limits are?
No.
Newsletter, website.
No, we'd have to create that,
Okay.
where it would be legal to drive your golf cart. And that is not gonna be an
That
easy,
would be hard. We'd have to have a
how easy is it? How
Committee to do
how
that.
uneasy, is that a word? It isn't, it's an uneasy feeling.
To create the map,
Yeah.
Seems like it just,
I know, we have to, Lorraine has to create a map for the ORV ordinance, which we do in conjunction with the county, with GIS, with Tom Van Bruggen from the county. I think perhaps the same thing can be done with this particular resolution, but I don't know that
it
it's,
depends on how easily Ken Hulka can tell me all the roads,
okay,
the speed limits. And then I'd have to coordinate that with
with Tom,
Tom at the county
okay.
to do the map.
Okay. So to say that this is effective immediately is a bit of a untruth. It's not effective immediately. It's effective on completion of a map so that the citizens would, because it's sort of effective immediately, but only when they see a map.
I don't,
Are you sure
I
we have to have a
respectfully-
map?
I respectfully disagree.
We only wanted a map because people will
It's visual.
come into the office and say, where can I go and where I can't go.
Isn't the map more of a convenience than a requirement?
Perhaps.
Too many papers.
I,
I honestly do. I guess I'm going to ask Ken on this one.
well,
Okay.
Defer to Ken.
hold on, let me try to help. Item number 11 says operators of golf carts on township streets are charged with the responsibility of knowing the restrictions and regulations contained in section 657A of the vehicle code, including speed limit of golf cart and streets allowed to be operated on. So that does put some of
Puts
the
them
weight
in,
on them.
the thing.
I understand the visual part, I like that, but, I mean, at least if they called and said, where can I operate, and we go, well, Clear Lake, or, you know, just, it has to be streets under 30 miles an hour.
The same restrictions are placed on the ORV ordinance though.
That's,
The golf cart law doesn't have all of the public hearing, publication, all the letters and notices. The golf cart law doesn't have all that, so I'm not sure.
Am I just trying to, am I being too much of a mom? Is that?
No, I would just wanna make sure we really have to do this map because they
Okay.
should be responsible is what,
As he said.
is what the
Okay.
resolution says.
Okay, maybe I'm being too
protect.
overly protective.
Have we
Okay.
had a lot of phone calls, letters, or whatever asking about the golf cart?
Okay. All right, I will do this. I'm just going to double check with Ken. And then as to whether or not we need to do it, or whether I'm just being, whether it can be effective immediately, whether it's, we don't need to do it.
Right.
So based on that, let's call for a vote.
Peggy asked the question. That's
I
all.
didn't hear what you said.
Sorry.
I was just wondering if we had gotten.
I can hear their truck more than I
yeah,
can
it's
hear
loud.
you.
Have we had a lot of resident inquiries on golf carts?
Mhm.
On golf carts.
Have we,
Has
Oh,
anyone
yes.
called, written?
not
Talk.
called or written, but we do
They come
get.
in the office
yeah.
and ask?
Yep, all the time we get people wanting to know, can we,
Because others do it, they wanna
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yes.
yeah. This is not something I brought to the township. People have wanted this all along, so. Okay, vote for a vote on this if we
Heather?
could.
So.
Do you have more questions or?
Well, you said that you wanted to ask Ken, so, but
About the
We're
map.
voting on the,
we're voting
We're
for
just voting
the
for the
resolution,
resolution.
and you're just gonna find
Yeah.
out about the
Yeah.
map, just for information.
yes.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Bob?
No.
Peggy?
You're not voting on the, I need to be clear, don't want the golf cart ordinance? or-
Well, if they can't ride on any of the roads, you know, I think it's kinda crazy we even are sitting here talking about it. They can only go to Clear Lake subs or, roads, our roads are all above the 30 mile an hour, and I don't know, I just, listening to John Holter and some of the folks in other areas, they said once you have an ordinance in there, they could go down White Road, which fit 5 mile an hour road, and I have seen golf carts on that road because I go over that way quite a bit. My son lives over in that
It's
area.
illegal.
Huh?
It's illegal.
At this
Okay,
point.
well, then that's not being enforced.
Right, well, I'm just saying.
That'd be my guess.
I'm
but
just saying, if you have a state,
I don't know.
Regulation.
I can change my vote to yes.
no, it's, I want you to
Just so
vote
we can
wait.
go through the process. I just wanna make sure we do it right, but I don't know.
Okay,
Just kinda, cause listening to other townships and they can do it, we can't do it, or Ken Holkus say we can do this, but I heard that we can actually let Ken know we wanna do certain things. And you did get some roads taken off that, I was very surprised with Ryerson being high speed like that, so. You know, there is some give and take, I guess, and I don't know.
To some extent, but the 35 or the 30-mile-an-hour thing is a state requirement versus the road is Ken's judgment. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we talked about the Eggleston, because I know Eggleston seemed to be wide open, kind of a Wild West show, but then we found the letters saying that theirs is voided, and I would guess that they're probably, I would hope, in the process of redoing that, whereas
Well, evidently, they don't know that.
So Dalton-
They do, they got a letter,
There's, cause they're still riding on, out there.
but they
Well, Peggy,
was-
you'd have seen them down by the boat launch and stuff.
They shouldn't even be there, but they're just not getting caught.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Dalton redid theirs after that letter, Holton did theirs after that letter, you know, after the voiding, so.
Yeah, Holton
and we're doing
redid,
ours.
they redid theirs to comply with the law, so. Okay,
So now I'm confused, because we're voting, but then we started talking again.
yeah,
Okay.
so, Bob said yes.
I
You
said
two
yes,
said.
just so we can go through this
I
process
still say
and
no.
do it right,
You can do that.
then we'll have time to vote again,
Linda?
so.
Yes,
That's crazy.
Chuck is a yes. Cool.
all
He's
right,
absent.
I have a question.
yes.
Is this the final vote? Cause Bob just said we'll have to vote again. Is this the
You
final
just said
vote?
we'll have to vote again?
It's the
Well, aren't we
resolution.
gonna, we gotta take it to the board eventually, well, I
Not-
know.
Not this one.
Not,
Okay.
we do the other one.
The ORV
Okay,
is, we're
all
not
right.
voting on the ORV. This is the board vote on this golf cart resolution.
All right, I'm there with you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Lorraine.
I just wanted to clarify, so if I got more work to do, I'd do more work.
Okay. All right. So now we are looking at the language of the ORV.
I'll get through it.
Yeah. Which is, did you change the numbers on these, Lorraine? Because that was that was a resolution, that was why, that's what confused me. That was why it was number one. That's your number one, correct? In your resolutions, that's confused me as well.
That's for the township.
Okay, Chuck has different numbers, so that,
Well, then I'll use his
I
number.
think, do you have different numbers, Mr. Skinner, on resolutions? Because we've done other resolutions, I
Right, we
believe.
usually coordinate, the township should have a single system, but
Yeah,
we'll.
we may
I
have
will
to do a
definitely
different
coordinate
number on
this
that,
one with
so.
her, 'cause I think we're up to, like, that number's probably wrong.
Yeah, so we'll address that number.
I'll coordinate with her.
Okay. When we were, Mr. Skinner left, at our last meeting, our work session, we went through this, and you had to leave early. And we were pretty comfortable with the majority of this, language. Most of this, because it was, when we talked with you, Lorraine, this was, so much of this was by law, section 6, 7, 8, 9, and I believe it was 9. 6, 7, 8, and 9 were all by law, if I'm remembering correctly on this.
Yes.
So, we went through those,
9 is by law,
that's what I said.
the stickers?
Are you talking about the operating rules or the actual sections?
I'm in the middle, cause after you left, Chuck, yeah.
Heard you, but I'm saying, registration, inspection, fees, that section?
That's section 10.
Operating rules
No.
under section 5.
I think we
10
should
now?
take that right out.
Yeah, I'm after, you left after section,
No,
section
I left.
5, didn't you?
Actually, we talked about,
No, we were
I think I have a
almost
different paper.
done.
Yeah, we were almost done when you left.
I don't have the same numbers as you do, so.
She's talking about 6 and 8,
Thank you. She's an angel. That's in section 5. Yes. Beautiful.
So once you left, then we carried on,
Yes.
okay.
We actually went faster.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was pretty.
Just being honest, Chuck.
So,
I have, are we talking about this yet or no?
yeah,
All right.
we're just talking about language, we're not voting on anything, so.
Section 7,
Mhm.
driver's license requirement. I had a thought about DUIs. So if somebody who has had a DUI, can they drive an ORV on the road?
Good question.
Because less than 18, not operate unless the person in possession of valid driver's license, direct supervision of adult.
I believe it has the same rules and regulations as
I
it,
can't hear.
I know, this is so loud coming from this way, and we should know better than to do this again, so.
Doesn't bother me at all. Can a person convicted of DUI,
Convicted of a DUI?
Are you reading that somewhere in here?
No, he's
I'm
asking
He's
a
asking
question.
a question about it.
because there's, section 7 is about driver's licenses.
Section 8.
Person has.
Oh. If they have a valid driver's license, it says they can apply.
So it should fall under the same as automobile, not being
Right.
able to.
This is
Seems like it
taken
would.
out of the Michigan Vehicle Code, so.
Okay,
yeah.
okay, all right. All right.
So if your driver's license was taken away, you would not be able to drive
Right.
Right.
an ORV.
Well, I guess my thing is this, it says driver's license requirement, and it doesn't. Shall not. Oh, no, I got it, wording, I got it, okay. The person is in possession of a valid driver's license, okay. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
You're good with that?
Mhm. So once I left, did you guys
We went through it.
come up with anything about the inspection fee or inspections and fees and all that? 'Cause I thought I saw something about,
Yes. We left that up to Lorraine.
That's the section 10. Section
section.
Section 10. The word inspection is gone. Is that what you're talking about?
Come on, Chuck.
You wanna bring your chair over here?
Your section 10 is not the same as mine.
Where does he get his paper?
Why don't you just bring your chair up here?
Oh.
It's just different, that's all.
I mean,
I'm trying to keep up.
But while she's doing that, the stickers, we wanna,
I don't know if we can
I
get
don't
away
know how
from
it
it.
would work.
What?
Cause if you had somebody come in from another township, like driving through and they didn't
They
have-
don't have, that's irrelevant.
How's it irrelevant? That's my question
So
exactly.
on this ORV, I'm gonna go back to this page right here. On this ORV, if I can talk loud enough, I hope that you guys.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You're gonna get an ORV sticker like from Myers per se, to put on your ORV. So we're thinking of having them have another sticker on it too? Is that what we're
Yes.
The
thinking?
Cedar Creek
Cedar
Township.
Creek Township sticker, okay, making sure.
That's what
Cause I know
Dalton
there's
told
one
me.
already there and then one to be here. Then he has a good question, how does he do that when they're not from
Yeah,
around?
cause you're gonna
here?
have other people from other townships riding through at some point.
What do we do with that?
To figure that out once.
It's like me driving through Ohio. I have-
Reciprocity.
But somebody's
Yeah.
gonna get stopped and say, oh, you don't have a Cedar Creek Township sticker. Are they gonna get a ticket?
No,
And that's only one time forever, or is that every year, or?
The-
Annual.
the-
See,
the-
it's
If
an
it says
annual
it, it
sticker.
goes
The other
annual.
model is like Dalton has an annual, and they give a sticker, and like you said, it's in addition to the state ORV stickers. But then you get the thing is like, well, if it's not required for somebody who's just driving through, then why does Johnny have to have one if Bobby doesn't?
That's where I'm at on
And
it,
that's
you
where you're
know?
gonna have problems, so that's why I actually question that whole thing, but it's like, I understand the registration and the sticker, but we need to make it easy, so it's not extremely expensive, and, I did talk to Lori at Dalton, and she said they can even do it online with her. She'll send it to them online, you know, so send in a copy of your registration, your insurance, fill out the application online and send in your whatever, but that's why I think she said she bought 100 stickers at a nominal fee, and she says, I don't think they're even charging for them over there, which encourages registration, etc. But because I question the whole, you got to maintain that list, you got to do the inspections, or you know, whatever, and you know, yeah, they can have insurance today, but tomorrow they're probably going to go cancel it. You know, you don't know. So
Well, and that's why I'm
But at least you
kinda
get 'em to
where
sign
the
the-
ORV, if they got that on there,
Yeah.
they're good.
well, if you get them to sign the waiver, which I think the liability release and stuff like that, I mean, there's some parts of this I get, but I don't want to. I think it's.
Make
It's
more
up to
work.
$35 now to get the ORV stickers, because
Yeah.
there's two, I
Yeah.
think, am I close to that? For $40, you know, you throw another,
Then throw another 20.
$20 into
is it
it.
20?
I'm just reading this paper right here, if it were 20 through here. What if they have a guest bring their ORV in to be on the roads? Can we charge them like $10 because they're here for the week, or
Or
to
nothing.
give, so they get to ride here for nothing? I'm just wondering if their friends should apply for them to be here, take more money.
There's a lot of
Like-
Make
different
more money.
Like Chuck
scenarios.
said, they're already paying $35
For
through the
that part,
state,
and then
so
through here too.
I think they're getting hit hard enough there. And it'd make it easier on us too. Cause like you said, somebody'd have to maintain that, and it'd probably be the clerk, wouldn't it be?
I think it's
Linda?
trustee Wright.
It is
It
it
would
is
be
the
the-
clerk. It
yeah.
is the clerk that has to
That's
maintain
with the
that.
money.
So,
Yeah, they got under the bus skirt.
well, I just,
It's the deputy clerk and clerk that have to maintain that.
okay.
You have in your, before we go there, you have in your packet, Lorraine included some of this, but I included some of the Shelby
Yeah,
ordinance.
I've seen that somewhere in here.
Yeah. She included section number 6. no,
enforcement?
no township duty to maintain county roads. That is where Shelby says section 3, that is our section 6.
She took that.
Oh, yeah.
I first thought that word was Shelley instead
Oh,
of Shelby.
No,
Made me look
Oh.
twice when I
Yeah,
first seen
well-
it.
You need glasses.
yeah, no, but it could just be my handwriting, because I was writing these all by hand there, so.
I got some.
The reason I'm bringing this to your
At least you're
attention,
finding yours now.
it's because of what Shelby does with their township, with their ORV funds.
Noticed that.
Are you looking at that, Chuck?
No, but I can share with you.
Did you happen to ask Ken about
No.
that?
Mm-mm, mm-mm. So, I mean, we can do something, if we chose to do something like this, we could do something like this
It's
too.
an idea.
My question would be, is the road commission requesting those funds? Do they feel that they need funds for repairing damage to the roads?
They'll say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They will say yes.
But then we would also have the right to have some of those funds, to split those too. If we did a fund.
I would almost rather, if you were gonna do that, say it'll go into the Cedar Creek Township Road Fund to go toward.
It almost is like the same thing to be in that same department. Cause you're still fixing what damage.
Right, well,
and
you're either
things.
sending the money to the road commission, or you're
Oh.
putting it in
Yeah.
Cedar Creek's road fund to pay
Yeah.
Cedar Creek's portion of road improvements.
Yes.
If the Muskegon County Road Commission is asking for more funds, if you're gonna do that, you're gonna take fees, use it for.
Yeah.
Well,
I agree.
Cedar
I'm going to point out one quick thing, and then, I don't think we're going to get where we wanted to be. So, I'm going to add, but our parking lot has a hole in it. And that was due to an ORV. Just so you know. It was a hot day, and I'm not gonna point fingers at who did it, but it was an ORV that just started up and did the damage to the parking lot. So, so it is, for anyone to think that they don't do damage to surfaces is,
They do.
it's, I mean, we're not thinking in a manner that, I mean, this isn't like a road, it's just a paved surface that's old, but it did do damage. So I think we need to think long-term, and now we have to pay to have our parking lot resurfaced. So I want to point that out, and that's something that we need to consider along the way. So we're now responsible for something that happened because of an ORV. So, okay, who feels like we're gonna get to where we need to be at this point? I don't want this meeting to go on forever.
We don't.
We started the vote.
That was a resolution. We're not at a vote, at a
Right.
place where we can, I mean, do you feel like you can finish this vote at this point?
For the
I mean,
language.
to finish the language.
I almost think,
I'm
I've done a lot of investigation on this stuff and a lot of studying on that stuff, but maybe others need to look at it longer.
I have two, but it all backfired.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'd like to say I want one more work session on this before June 14th.
I'm with you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll schedule a work session if we're all in agreement.
Sure.
All right. Are we comfortable with that?
I'd rather do that than push when
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Do we need
But I don't want
do
it
we
to-
need a vote on that, or are we just in agreement that we can do that?
we all
I
agree.
agree.
All right, thank you. All right, our next item of business is the adjustment to our zoning administrator's hourly compensation. And the township has become increasingly busy with zoning and business issues. When Lorraine came on board, we paid her a flat salary for her set time in the office, which is still part of our agreement with her. Soon that time expanded to meet the ever-growing demands, and the board agreed to pay her an hourly salary as needed. Historically, we have paid her $15 per hour. We feel that it is important to pay her a $20 hourly wage, which is more in keeping with her skill set. The average hourly salary for a zoning administrator in Michigan is $23.73. May I please have a motion to adjust the zoning administrator's hourly compensation to $20 per hour?
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
Is there any discussion that you would like to accompany to this motion?
No, I know she does a lot of work. She even goes beyond and keeping us updated and with what you've even accomplished throughout the
And
year.
I
You do a
thought it
lot of
was
stuff.
that in the first
I
place.
did too, I thought it was higher.
How many houses did you
I thought it was 18.
get today? New house?
Just two.
Just two?
Yeah.
Two
I
new
thought
houses
those were more.
today?
Two
Okay.
new today.
All right, thank you. We've had a motion and a second, and discussion on this. Chuck, since we're talking about spending money, may I have a roll call, please?
Yes, Linda,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Peggy.
Yes.
Chuck, yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you.
You make more than a McDonald workers. I thought it was 20 all along. I don't,
It was, I believe, quite frankly, I believe it was supposed to have been 20, and somehow there was a mix-up
Wasn't there.
along the way. So, thank you for rectifying that. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, so our next order of business is the Comcast agreement. You have in your packets, Lorraine, thank you very much. You have this thick Comcast agreement in accordance with our
it's quite a
10
contract too.
Yep. Our 10-year franchise agreement with Comcast is up for renewal. Board members have all had an opportunity to review this lengthy agreement. Cedar Creek has a 5% franchise rate agreement fee with Comcast. It is my recommendation that we sign the agreement and continue with the same 5% franchise rate. May I please have a motion that allows us to enter into another 10-year Michigan Uniform Video Service local franchise agreement with Comcast at a rate of 5%.
So moved.
Sport.
All right, any discussion?
Just so y'all know, I did talk to Jeff.
Jeff?
I want to call him Fred. And I've been communicating with him, and this is the same number we had before. It's pretty standard. It is the max that you can charge, but it's pretty much standard through their industry is what I can tell. And I actually did read through all this, and it was wonderful.
I read through the whole thing as well.
They've been real helpful and clarifying stuff for us. Get back to us right away. It's nice to have that kind of communication kind of relationship with people. So, and this is, I think, as she indicated, this is one of those items that's on the clock. If we don't sign it, it's automatic. So
Yeah.
we wanted to act on it. That's one of the reasons why we're having this meeting. Is we'd rather act and accept it or deny it than to just let it
Yeah.
happen. So. Thanks,
And-
Linda, for that.
Yeah, and I appreciate being able to work with Jeff. I work with him on a broadband committee. And so I have the option of being able to call him and ask for his advice on a number of things, which I've been able to do. So, so with that said, thank you for that, Chuck. So, I may,
Any other conversation?
yeah.
You guys good?
So, did I ask for a motion?
We had a
Did I have
motion.
a motion
Peggy
to
and
the
Bob.
We
board?
just need a vote now.
Yeah, vote. Okay, forgot that. And,
Bob,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Linda,
yes,
Peggy,
Yes.
Chuck, yes.
okay, motion carries. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, everyone. And if you read through that, it was great bedtime reading, so, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, and we have with us this evening, and Hudson. It's right back there, and I forgot, Nordyke, sorry, I had to look for your last name. So Hudson is with the West Michigan Broadband. And so we have another contract here. This is for the Metro Act. Let's see, this is West Michigan Broadband has asked us for permission to enter the township to lay fiber for cable. They have finished Bridgeton Township and will now be coming across the street from River Road into Cedar Creek Township, just past Maple Island Grocery Store. We will require board approval in order to enter into this agreement with West Michigan Broadband. They have also agreed to enter into a franchise agreement with the township. Should that agreement be ready in time for the June 14th board meeting, we will add it to that agenda. May I please have a motion approving West Michigan Broadband to enter into Cedar Creek Township to lay fiber on Maple Island Road.
Motion.
I'll support.
All right, any discussion?
This doesn't cost us anything, does it?
No, at this point, they need permission from
Just a
us,
permission.
which will get them a permit from Muskegon County Roads to bore under the road from River over to the west side of Maple Island, so they can service those couple miles there. And so we're basically just giving permission to lay the fiber in. I don't know if you guys are excited, but to hear that there's fiber gonna be in Cedar Creek is, you know, I mean, it may not be in my house or your house yet, but, you know, it's a step. And with technology, you know, maybe it's coming for all of us, so I'm
And-
kind of excited about that.
Right, and you have, Hudson, you have plans at some point in the future to come down Cedar?
Yeah, so there's some CAF funding and stuff around this area, that we're trying to get money for. Fiber optic is very expensive. I've talked to you guys about
Yeah.
that. So we kinda have to pick and choose our areas. A lot of people on South River kinda pitched in some money and helped us get down there to them. So we could try and do the same thing in your township. If we can't do that, then we can lay our fiber, along your main run roads, and then use, our DTR mounts, which I've talked to you guys about, to go down to customers and stuff like that. So yeah, it would be awesome to get your whole township covered, when, and I don't know the answers to that.
Okay.
So the only plans I have for is that 1,100 feet on Maple Island.
It's 1,100 feet that you're looking at right now.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Is that right?
Yeah,
All right, so we should probably do a vote.
Linda,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
Chuck is a yes.
Motion carries. All right, we will sign this. Do you want us to do this right now so you can?
No, you can do it whenever. Do you have my email address, Chuck?
It is it on this?
It probably is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
Cool.
All right, we'll
Send it
scan
there.
it and then get it out to you
If
right
not, I'll
away.
reach out to you, okay, Hud?
I did bring the flyer of our plans and stuff, just because I didn't bring it last time.
I'll put it in the minutes.
We'll look at it, so.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Appreciate you stopping in.
No worries.
Thank you, Hudson.
Yep, thank you guys.
All right, next item is the Cedar Creek Fixed Asset Capitalization Policy. So, exciting stuff.
Yes. Lots of good reading.
Our auditor has suggested that we increase the amount of our fixed asset capitalization policy from $500 to $5,000, which Heather has prepared for us. The board has been provided with an explanation of what constitutes an asset and what should and should not fall within the capitalization policy. May I please have a motion to approve the Cedar Creek Township Fixed Asset Capitalization Policy?
Motion.
I'll support.
All right, any discussion?
Yep,
There is?
sure.
Do you have discussion, Chuck?
Of course I do. Nobody wants to go home and eat. I'm actually kidding. From what I understand, this makes perfect sense. I did read through it, so.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing this forward, Heather.
Yeah.
This is good stuff, so, that's all.
All right, thank you.
I'm scared
I'm
for a
going.
moment there.
I'm good.
Water a little bit,
I
yeah.
literally couldn't believe.
I was waiting.
All right, could I have a roll call, please, on this?
Bob?
Yes.
Heather?
Yes.
Peggy?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Chuck? Yes.
Thank you very much, Heather, for doing this. The auditor really has been after us to do this, so thank you. All right, the next item is the authorization for purchase of new voter ID cards for Cedar Creek Township.
That's,
Yeah,
need a motion, right?
and, well, we need
Can
to
we
talk
talk
about
about
it
it?
first.
Let's have
a motion
We-
before we can talk
We
about
can't
it.
just.
All right, I
I'm s-
brought.
Wait a minute, wait. Cedar Creek is banding together. You should have the stuff in your, or do you not have this stuff?
Keep going.
Oh, okay.
Keep talking.
I have one, so it doesn't matter. I've got one, that's all that matters.
That's all that
I
matters.
don't have one.
See, I'll talk about it and
Pretty
Chuck will hand it.
self-explanatory.
Cedar Creek is banding together with other Muskegon County townships in the city of Muskegon to print new voter ID cards with variable data for the purpose of redistricting. Because of this, we are receiving a much better price than if we were to go it alone. The price for Cedar Creek Township is 12 cents each card. For 2,803 cards at $336.36, $0 for setup fee, 33 cents postage for $924.99 for a total of $1,261.35. May I please have a motion to pay Spectrum Printers Incorporated for new voter ID cards which are needed due to redistricting?
I will make that motion.
Sport.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, is there any discussion? I'm sorry, I forgot that part.
Well, you know Chuck's gonna say
Yeah,
something.
Chuck's gonna say something.
But this lends to something that's real important. Deputy clerk tried to print some of these out. In fact, she did print some of these out based on what we normally do. And we sent them out, and a bunch of them were returned by the post office as illegible. And what we did is we took some of those, what they actually came back to us, and rubbed on the card with our finger and actually smeared the ink. That card had been printed, gone to the post office, out for delivery, come back, and it was still smudgeable. So, and I don't know if it's our, I don't know what the test on this is, but our ink doesn't smudge on anything else from that printer, if it's the card stock or whatever, but every single one that we sent out with a stamp on it came back, wasted stamp, wasted print, and to print out 2,800 of these, feeding them into that machine, you know, what, a stack of 25 at a time or whatever, is time consuming, et cetera, and like Linda said, by banding together, the price on these is almost in half of what we would have paid. And the fact that the redistricting happened, if a single number on that card changes, we have to send them out, and they did. So we have to send these cards out. There's not really a question about it, but I felt bad because it looked like our office was doing shoddy work, sending out work, work that wasn't fit to read, or used, and people were bringing them back saying, what is this? And it made me really feel bad. So this is gonna all be handled by them. I'll send them an electronic file from the qualified voter file, and they'll send them. It's all
Oh,
done.
is Township gonna laminate them?
Nope.
Good.
Well, that would've been more work for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot more work.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah.
Clerk will do it, right?
So since
Well,
we're,
we'll do our own.
yeah,
Yeah, I just
yeah,
wanted to
it's
let you
unfortunate,
know.
but I did hear of other townships who also got a number of their cards back. And it could also, part of that be due to,
Was that through the same company?
no,
No,
when they
we-
tried to
no,
print their own.
When they tried to print their own.
Print their own.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, we had just bought some stock, and it doesn't take
But,
me.
but they're also partly
some
due
like
to
that.
address changes, people got their cards back because a number of people got, people who moved and, all that kind of thing, so.
We've been working hard on that
Yeah.
qualified voter file, and we've, got it cleaned up pretty
Getting
good.
there.
Um,
So, but since we're spending money, may I have a voice vote on this action?
Sure. Peggy,
Yes.
Linda,
Yes,
Heather,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Chuck, yes.
motion carries. Okay, update on the transfer station fee schedule. George is, Velasquez, works at the transfer station for us, and, you all had my note on how this happened. Chuck said, are we really spending this much on mattresses? Because I'm at the transfer station, I knew that we weren't taking in this much on our mattresses. So that led to me sitting down with George and going over a fee schedule. So, if you'll note on the fee schedule that it says small garbage bags where I have normal kitchen size bag, that should be where it says large garbage bags, where at the 150.
Mine says well.
So I put that in the wrong category, so I'll need to move that down one. The slight increase came about because we were being charged more than we were taking in. We are not here to make money on the transfer station, but we are not here to lose money either. We've not had an increase since 2018. May I please have a motion to approve the new transfer station fees?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion on these fees?
Can I have one quick second? I promise.
1,001.
He's doing that on
Please.
purpose.
Well, while he's looking at that, I would like to let you know that because I'm there every Saturday working at the transfer station, I'd like to point out that it is not unusual for us to get a number of couches at one time, and people also come in with them not being broken down. Those couches or chairs take up a lot of room in the bin. If they're not broken down, that means that we're paying a huge amount of money for a lot of wasted space in that bin. And so that's why there's that $5 additional fee if somebody is not gonna break that down. They're asked to break them down, but a lot of people do come in just with the whole couch or the whole chair. And even though they've been asked to break them down in advance.
I'm good, thank you, by the way.
Is there a reason why you took out the absolutely no dump trucks, long lumber, demolition material, or tires?
That might be an oversight. Yeah, that should go back in there,
Okay.
especially the tires.
Mm-hmm.
I will add that line back in.
I would, 'cause I know,
We do not take tires.
yeah.
We will in September, though.
Yes, yes.
That's
I will add that tire line back in.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not sure what dump truck means. Absolutely no dump trucks. Long. I wanna. Oh, dump trucks. They take like a huge dump truck load. It should say no dump truck load.
Yeah, those should be going down
Yeah,
to the.
Another
yeah.
area,
Those should go to the.
Yeah,
To
I
the
think
speed.
that needs to be no dump truck load.
because that'd be too big
Yeah.
for us.
It just, yeah, it'd
Yeah.
feel hard
Way
to
too
figure
big.
it out, yeah.
And, okay, so I will clarify that a little bit. Okay, and I'll add that line.
Yep.
With that clarification and the moving of the normal kitchen size bag to the next line, any other changes or adjustments to that? And Bob, did I hear a motion to approve it?
Yeah.
We had a motion and a second.
Bob,
Yeah.
All right, are,
Can I just ask one odd question?
Sure.
It's probably a really stinker question. If somebody brings in a couch and it is not broken down and you charge them the extra fee, who's breaking it down then?
it goes, they carry it.
So they're
to-
gonna take it right
they-
back into their truck or
No,
somebody
they,
else?
no, we take it.
Oh,
We
you will
charge
then.
them the fee plus the additional fee, and
Then
it's
who-
hauled away.
It can be hauled away, so none of us are responsible in breaking it down before it
Oh,
gets
I
hauled away.
am definitely not.
Just a curiosity. I thought it was a
I
silly
have
question, but
no-
I just
I have
wanted to
n-
know.
That's fair.
Who done this?
Rest assured, this princess has no intention of breaking down that.
Okay, so they will still haul it away
Oh,
then.
yeah,
but
it
then-
gets
Yeah,
hauled
no.
away.
Thank you. I know it was silly. That's why I
Thank
said
you.
up front.
I'm still recovering from throwing last year's tires.
Oh, my gosh.
For two?
Okay, could we have a vote, please? We don't need a voice vote, we can just roll call. I mean, ayes, you know what I meant.
All in
All in
favor?
favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you, motion carries. All right, a Stratos agreement. The board has had an opportunity to review the resolution to approve a lease agreement with Stratos Network for their tower, which is located on the township's property. Our attorney has to redo the contract to state that Stratos is leasing the property rather than the tower. In consultation with our attorney, all aspects that we believe were critical to the lease agreement were included in the document, such as length of the agreement, 3 years with a renewal period of 3 years, and notification should there be a change of network providers. Cedar Creek needs to know who owns the tower from this point forward so that we can renegotiate contracts. We are asking for your permission to be allowed to sign the agreement, supervisor and clerk, upon the corrected agreement and resolution prepared by our attorney. Additionally, Stratos sent us a check in the amount of $356.74 in payment for the rent. The amount has not been agreed to by the board. Before cashing this check, our board must agree that we are willing to accept this amount as a monthly rental fee for at least the next 3 years. May I please have a motion to allow the clerk and the supervisor to execute the corrected agreement and a resolution once resubmitted by our township attorney in the amount of $356.74. If you're comfortable with that amount of monthly rental fee.
Motion.
I second it.
Any discussion?
I invited Stratos here.
I was
this
gonna
evening.
ask that
I did.
question. Yeah.
And honestly, they didn't respond at all, which is kind of odd, but, because they were responding pretty good. So I lost my email, but I got my email back, but I haven't heard from them. But the 356 is calculated based on when they took over the tower, if they had put in the consumer price index increases every year they had it. It doesn't go back to when it was owned by somebody else. They felt like they weren't responsible for that. And I kind of agree with that. They kind of inherited this, and I think that my calculation would have come out at about $370 a month. I really don't want to quibble over the amount. I think that the $356 acknowledges the fact that, you know, we should have gotten more and we should get more based on consumer price index pricing. This 3-year contract does not have any pricing increases in it, and I would encourage us to look at that in the future. But I know they're doing a lot of equipment changes. They did pay us the back money that we said they owed us. We got a check for that, $3,600. So I think they're being forthcoming with us, and I think we're being real, you know, honest with them and working with them. So I think we should go forward with it based on what they've done to solidify the relationship, and their willingness to pay us the increased amount based on a reasonable calculation. And I think a 3-year contract puts us in a position to say, well, you know, you did well, or no, you didn't do so well, but it doesn't lock us into a 5 or 10-year contract at the same time. So personally, with the workings I've had and the dealings I've done with this, and like Linda said, the only problem with that contract that you see is it says they'll lease the tower, but they're leasing the land the tower's on. The tower's theirs, from what we understand. So that was just a typo. They said they get fixed for us. So other than that, I think we're probably okay to go with it, in my opinion. So.
And I agree with Chuck. When I first wrote to the attorney, I asked him, I said we could go with a 5-year contract, but given the way we've worked with them, I prefer to do a 3-year contract. And the attorney felt that was the more appropriate way to go. So, and I really felt even more strongly that we needed to have a clause in there, which Ross did do, that said that they would notify us if there was a change of hands, because that's been the kicker in this all along, that we weren't notified when someone
Right.
purchased.
It took us months to
Yes.
find that out.
So that's included in there, and that to me was one of the most important clauses in the whole contract. So, with that said, could we
I would like to say that we always do get our checks, our rent checks come in every month.
Yep.
They have been good with that, timely in
Good.
that. So,
Mhm.
and I think that's a good thing to know moving forward, so.
So we've got a motion and support, so we're talking about money again, so roll call, please.
Linda,
Yes.
Bob,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
Yes.
Peggy is a yes, Chuck is a yes. Okay. I'll notify the appropriate people at the other end.
Okay, that ends the agenda for this evening. Board comments, I do not have any this evening. I think this was such a packed agenda. We really addressed everything, and I thank everyone for allowing us to do this, because we would literally be here next June 14th until 10, were we not to do it this way. So I appreciate that, and people were waiting for these contracts, so that was another really important aspect to this meeting. Thank you.
I have none.
None
There.
for me.
I think you said it all. I don't have any.
I just have a fun fact I just want to share. I did some digging into that voter turnout for that May election thing we had, and people under the age of 60 turned out at a 10.4% rate to vote for that MAISD. The 60 plus, 30%.
Wow.
Seniors really turned out at 3 times as much, so
Good people.
go see.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, the seniors probably didn't want the tax increase, so I mean, I think that it kind of paints a picture, but I'm sure we'll see it again in August, but
I think you probably will. Can I elaborate on that just for a
I
quick
don't
minute?
know, you said you didn't have nothing.
Well, I'm gonna take it back. There's, in talking to seniors, and I do attend some of the senior programs that are out there, and talking to the seniors, they're afraid that their vote will not be counted So that is why you're gonna see more people coming in, because they feel if they come in person, I see what you got there.
No, I'm saying,
But-
take it with you,
but-
show it to
but
them.
they
did well.
Well, I
Yeah.
could show that to them if you would like me to. I don't have a meeting until Tuesday of next week. But that's what they're saying. They don't feel if they're gonna be counted, so they're gonna do this in person. So you may still see a better increase.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So,
We had,
just my 2 cents.
We had a lot of absentees too, we did well. Our absentee voters came in strong. 3-1, absentees were 3-1 to in-persons, so. But yeah, good.
Okay. With that, thank you very much. Public
Can I
comments,
have a
please.
copy
Yeah,
of
you
that?
can have it.
Thank you.
Yes, Nancy.
Hi.
Nancy, would you stand up here, please, so that
You got it,
we
you
can
got
see your
it.
lovely face?
I don't want it. What do you want?
Is it right at the,
Oh, yeah.
At the left hand, yes.
yeah.
So, my whole family sent in our absentee ballots. I don't know how the vote turned out.
For
Oh,
MASD vote?
the result, you're looking for what the result was? Or the count?
Well, I'm thinking of the,
What does it say?
we voted on, I think it was an increase in our taxes
Yeah.
for children in
For special
Special needs.
education.
special education.
It was defeated.
That's too bad.
Well, you'll probably see it again later this year,
Oh,
I would imagine.
all right.
They'll come back up with different language.
I think so. I think you'll see different language.
Yeah, I think people need to know a little bit more or something. Okay, thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you, Nancy.
Sure.
Anyone else?
Is it time to go home?
Rita.
Are you alive with that?
Not quite, but.
Anyone else like to address the board? Yes.
Dave Stamey, 6221 Cedar. Just some observations. I have been involved in these discussions on the ORV and golf cart regulations, but it sure seems like we're way overthinking this whole thing. We talk about the golf carts. They can't be on the road with a speed limit over 30 miles an hour. We have none. I mean, why have an ordinance if we're already restricted by the state? I mean, we've lived here 25 years, and I think I could probably count on one hand the time I've seen a golf cart go along a road out here. It's probably just between neighbors. I mean, is it really an issue? Is it a problem? Something we need an ordinance for? And on ORVs, you're talking about making having an annual township sticker on them, on top of the ORV sticker? What's the purpose in that? Is there a purpose or just another regulation?
Thank you for your comment.
Okay, no answer?
Technically, we're not supposed to answer you.
Oh, all right.
Any other public comments? All right. Thank you very much.